Hello, my name is Ivan. I'm a bit passionate about history and the battles that have occurred throughout it. And today I would like to talk about the forgotten battle that has changed the entire history of Europe. On the June 22nd, Ottoman forces, some claim 15,000 strong, some say 20. I've heard my history professor say it was as much as 30,000, and against the Croatian forces and Habsburg forces that were around 3, 4, 5,000 strong. Now, at that time, Ottomans have had quite a reputation about that military power. There was a fear that Ottomans might eventually conquer Hungary and Austria and move more towards the Central Europe. But there was a little country in the Balkans, the Kingdom of Croatia, that has stood in its way and has proved to be, in many ways, the nail in the coffin, the impossible mountain peak to climb for Ottomans. Ottomans have conquered all of the Balkans at that time. Serbia was conquered, as was Bosnia, and much of Croatia was also conquered, but not everything. Sisak has a very long history of strategic importance. Augustus has launched one of his greatest military campaigns towards conquering it, as Sisak, Sistia, at the time of Rome, was seen as the pathway to all of Pannonia, really. And it played a very strategic importance with the Ottomans because it was a pathway to Zagreb and Karlovac and other major cities, and from there launching an attack towards Hungary, launching an attack towards Vienna would have been logistically much easier than going all the way from Bosnia. And so they wanted to conquer this fortress of Sisak, and they ended up losing against a much smaller force. Now, no one really knows much about this battle. It isn't really well documented in history, and it's surprising, honestly. It's surprising to me because after the Europeans have won, after the Croatians and Habsburgs have won, history records that throughout Europe, church bells were ringing, and there were feasts and celebrations made in order to celebrate this crucial victory. Because this victory represented a turning point in the European fight against the Ottomans. It was perhaps the first time where Europeans haven't just won. They haven't just repelled the Ottomans, they have crushed them. Some estimates say that almost the entire Turkish army has been defeated that day. And this has given confidence and belief that Ottomans can be defeated at the battlefield. When Murad III has heard of this news, he was furious, so much so that he escalated the entire conflict, which led to the long Turkish war, which lasted for 13 years. And I've tried to talk with some local history. I'm from that part. I'm born in that city actually, so that's why it has quite an importance for me. And I've lived there my whole life, but I lived there half of my life. And I've talked with some local historians that I was able to find, and there isn't really much to that story other than what I've just described. And all the historians that are watching this who might know a lot more than me, please crucify me and tell me there is so much more to the story, and reach out to me. I would be glad to have a discussion about this. But yes, I mean, it is very surprising just how little there is about this battle. When you type it on YouTube, there isn't really much, and there's so many of these history channels with animations of different battles. You can't find for the battle for Sisak. To be honest, I haven't checked in a few months, but there isn't one. And yeah, a very important battle that has shifted. It shifted the mindset. And I do wonder if Sisak had fallen then, would have Zagreb fallen? And if Zagreb became Ottoman, Turkish, would entire Croatia be under their rule? Would we have the country that we have today? Would we be much more like Bosnia? What would Europe be like? What would Europe be like without Croatia being the way it is? I mean, Nikola Tesla came from Croatia. Many important innovations in the world, and many important people came from my country. And it's a jewel of Europe. It's one of the most beautiful places in the world. It's one of the favorite holiday destinations for many people. And yeah, I do wonder what would have happened if that battle went a different way. And I think it deserves a video. It deserves a mention. It deserves more attention. And with this, at least, if someone ever goes on YouTube to look for it, you know, there is something there. So yeah, that's everything I wanted to say. Thank you for listening.